Yes, the fact of the matter is, when you pay NSSF, there is something you will gain at the end of it. NHIF, you will definitely benefit from a health cover. But when it comes to this new housing fund, we're still not clear on what will benefit us at the end. Am I wrong in saying that?
Yes, you are. I mean,
please clarify for us.
You know what? First, what I wanted to explain to my colleague Senator Kajwang is that under that scheme, there is an exit clause for somebody who is not interested in benefiting from a house. You can treat, or your contribution is treated as a saving, and so you can exit with the savings contributed in your account if you don't want to be a beneficiary from the housing scheme. You know, as I said earlier, I think the only problem in this arrangement was that enough time was not given for marketing the idea in chewable, understandable bites to the people so that they can appreciate and own that project. Because in my view, as an elected leader who has the duty to protect the interest of Kenyans, I know that this is a project that was going to benefit a lot of people. Because
are you saying that was?
No, that is intended to benefit a lot of people. Because, Fred, I have had my time in this city, like Senator Kajwang has said, and I have gone through and even lived in Dandora. I have gone and had time in Mukuru, kwa Jenga and kwa Ruben, and engaged people. I have been one of the volunteers there, building toilets for people in South Bay, in the slums there. And I know the kind of shame that people live in, that families have had to face. So rising to the occasion to deal with this is an important thing. But let me say this.
Are you promising, because if they pay 1.5% of their salaries, they will get houses?
Do you know what? This arrangement, and please listen to what I've said. I really wish that time can now be taken. And the ministry concerned, which is one of the ministry which I oversight with my committee, takes time to market and explain this idea to the people so that the people can understand. Do you know how many people, and I want to agree with what Senator Kajwang said earlier, that we have a big problem in management of pension funds. In my committee, about a few weeks ago, we were looking at the scandal that was Hazina Towers, which was being developed by NSSF in town. And you can imagine a project that was conceptualized in the 1990s, today in 2018, is not yet finalized, and has consumed almost 10 billion of pensioners' money. And so the management of those funds is not only scandalous, it's also corrupt. So if there is introduced a system whereby you can have responsibility and people can benefit actually, you know, make sure that we uplift those people in Kibera.
But you also seem to be doubting the existence of
by the way, in one of the things that I was very clear in my mind, and I'm still clear, that if it is managed well, organized well, marketed well, that would be a benefit to Kenyans. And I've been here. I have lived through this. This is something that will benefit Kenyans.
You've seen NSSF, and you talk about the mismanagement of those funds. You've seen NHIF, and you know the kind of challenges that have been experienced by that fund.
Absolutely.
Are you saying that you're confident that a new fund will just come and thrive in these same conditions?
You know what I've said, Fred, is that it is a good idea. It's a beautiful concept. It is worthy going for. Onwards, as Kenyans, what we would have to ensure, and as government, is to make sure that what is promised is what has been delivered. And if what is promised is what is delivered, this was a good idea. So as we speak about these other taxes, that's what I said. We have to say to Kenyans, yes, we feel your pain. We stand with Kenyans on these other issues, that indeed we know it will be a big burden when taxes are increased over fuel products, over the other transactions. But let us also not teach our people to hate and condemn everything, including what would be of benefit. And so I believe on this one we need to say that it is not taxation, it was a contribution that's supposed to help Kenya.
Do you get his point?
No, I hear him, but I don't agree with him. It is not for lack of capital that we have not implemented low-cost housing. There's a lot of money in this country. You can see it from the skyscrapers in Upper Hill and all over.
And empty apartment blocks in
yes, and empty apartment
Nairobi.
blocks. What we have not created is a conducive environment for these investors to be able to deliver low-cost housing. You have correctly pointed out the challenges with some of the funds that have already been established. And remember, the Retirement Benefits Act has already put in something that an employee can use his pensions benefits as collateral for purposes of securing a mortgage. Why are we rushing to create another fund? Why can't we optimize? Why can't we review the rules under the Retirement Benefits Act to make sure that existing pension funds can be used by employees to secure housing? And why can't we incentivize these pension funds to be able to deliver cheap housing? And finally, and I've seen from the tweets from our viewers, this issue of foreigners coming in to do projects and coming in with their own labor and resources. Look at it this way. We have done the standard gauge railway. We've spent billions of shillings. Have we spurred the cement industry in this country? Portland cement is dying. Have we spurred the steel industry in this country? What new industry have we created as a result of the billions of shillings that we are pumping? If you're going to build that highway, if in these hydros and energy projects, what industries are we building as a result? Okay. Everything is coming from the West. If we are going to spend 500 billion Kenya shillings to build a tea processing plant, a fish processing plant, a coffee processing plant, value addition, the Asian tigers grew as a result of manufacturing. It was not because of infrastructure alone. Manufacturing and value addition, that should be the focus. And that is where the money and debt should go into. Not in buying new uniform for the police, not for NYS, and not for all the trappings of power that we see every day.
Okay.